Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we untangle corporate filings so you don't have to. Today we're diving into a Schedule 14A form, a proxy statement from Nu Skin Enterprises. But don't worry, it's not about aliens this time. We are decoding the boring side of business. This document tells stockholders how to vote on important company matters. This year, get ready for director elections, executive pay approvals, and a new incentive plan. Let's decode what it all means. First, a quick overview. Nu Skin is holding its annual stockholder meeting on May 29, 2025. Stockholders will be voting on electing directors, approving executive compensation, approving an incentive plan, and ratifying their accounting firm. The company wants you to vote yes on everything. The first big item is electing 9 directors to the board. The proxy statement lists each nominee, their age, experience, and qualifications. It's like a corporate beauty pageant, but for board members. For example, there's Emma Battle with a background in marketing and business strategy. The board values her digital marketing skills. Then there's Daniel Campbell, who brings financial expertise and corporate governance experience. We also have Stephen Lund, the executive chairman, who's been with the company forever. And Ryan Napierski, the CEO himself, bringing expertise in direct sales. Laura Nathanson, with a background in sales and marketing at Disney. Thomas Paisano, bringing expertise in the direct selling industry. Then we have James Winnett, who has years of consulting experience. Edwina Woodbury with experience in direct selling and finance at Avon, and Mark Zorko, a seasoned business professional who has served as a CFO, board member, and audit committee chairman. The board recommends voting for all 9 nominees. This part is important for stockholders as it is related to the overall running and supervision of the company. The document also gives you a snapshot of what the board looks like from a high level. It is 22% racially diverse and 33% gender diverse. The board shows a good mix of expertise, including experience in other public companies, corporate finance, international operations, risk management, and sales skating. Moving on to corporate governance, the filing stresses the importance of director independence. The board states that all but 2 directors are independent. Those 2 are the chairman and the CEO, which is not surprising. The filing states that independent directors meet regularly in executive sessions. Risk oversight is another key aspect. The board oversees management's risk management program, both as a whole and through its committees. They have a risk council, who regularly review top enterprise risks. This ensures someone is keeping an eye on potential problems and making plans to deal with them. Now let's talk about director compensation, because who doesn't love knowing how much people get paid? Non-employee directors get an annual cash retainer of $85,000 plus $10,000 per committee they're on. There are extra retainers for leadership roles, like the lead independent director getting an additional $25,000. They also get an annual equity award worth $155,000. They also get an annual equity award worth $155,000. Stephen Lund, as executive chairman, made a total of $729 and $74 are $729, but that includes his salary as an employee. It's interesting to note that a large chunk of director pay is in stock, aligning their interests with stockholders, at least in theory. Next up, executive compensation. This section gets into how much the top executives make and why. The named executive officers for 2024 were Ryan Napierski, CE, James Thomas, CFO, Chase Clark, General Counsel, Stephen Hatchett, Chief Product Officer, and Justin Keisel, President of Global Sales. Nu Skin emphasizes a pay-for-performance philosophy, meaning executives get paid based on how well the company does. A significant portion of their compensation is variable, tied to metrics like revenue, operating income, and strategic goals. The CEO makes $1,050,000 of base salary, and his target variable compensation depends on adjusted revenue, adjusted operating income, and the achievement of strategic goals such as increasing revenue from new products. The other executives are compensated similarly. It looks like there was also adoption of equity retention guidelines in order to further align with the company. However, the 2024 was not a banner year for hitting those performance goals. The table shows that actual adjusted operating income was $146 starting $33 against a goal of when it comes to executive $3 million. Because they missed that goal, several bonus awards were not met, including cash incentives linked to the income. When it comes to executive compensation, it shows that when the company does not do well, they get paid less. It is very important to note here that it depends on the executive, as Mr. Keisel made 0% of the potential bonus. Meanwhile, the other executives took 25% of it. The one area where they saw a big win was the sale of their Mavely business. So a big bonus was awarded to the executives because of this successful transaction. Nu Skin seems to follow good compensation practices, prohibiting hedging and pledging of shares, and using a clawback policy. The company also hires outside consultants to advise on executive pay, which can help ensure it's fair and competitive. Nu Skin benchmarks executive pay against a peer group of similar companies like Herbalife, Coty, and USANA Health Sciences. Speaking of actual executive pay, let's check out the summary compensation table. In 2024, CEO Ryan Napierski made almost $6 million, James Thomas made $2.5 million, and so on. This includes salary, bonuses, stock awards, and other compensation. Remember that what they actually took home depends on how the investment did and what they are eligible to receive as part of the agreement. Then there's the CEO pay ratio. The median employee in 24 made only $950, leading to an outrageously high CEO pay ratio. But the filing makes an important clarification. That's because most employees are in mainland China and get limited compensations. If they exclude these employees, the ratio is much more reasonable. It'd be better to use the non-China adjusted ratio. One important thing for stockholders to vote on: an update to the 2024 Omnibus Incentive Plan. This is about increasing the number of shares available for equity compensation awards. This basically gives the company more ammo to attract and retain talent. Without the plan, it will be tough to keep good workers. The filing mentions their historical usage of shares. On average, it has been around 2% of outstanding shares per year. The plan will increase the company's fully diluted overhang from 10.1% to 11.4%. What is overhang, I hear you ask? It is simply the shares available and the shares issued as part of the plan. The executives have the power of clawback. The plan also includes provisions allowing the company to recover compensation if executives engage in misconduct. So even if they're paid, there is potential for the funds to be taken back for underperformance. Finally, there's a vote to ratify the selection of PricewaterhouseCoopers or PricewaterhouseCoopers or PwC as the company's independent accounting firm for 2025. It's a fairly standard practice. PwC's fees in 2024 were around $5.4 million, mostly for audit work, but also including tax services. As you can see, the audit committee have discussed all the necessary topics with the auditors and will make sure to do what it can to keep the company as honest as possible. Now, for the legal disclaimer, the report has forward-looking statements that can influence the company. So what's the takeaway? The board wants you to vote for their plan. Nu Skin faces headwinds from a changing market and its performance impacts executive pay. It is up to you to decide if you think they are doing well or not. That's all for today's Corporate Decoder. What do you think about Nu Skin and the decisions for voting? Please subscribe, like and comment.